Hello everyone, it's time for a news roundup. We're going to talk about some of the day's top stories and take your comments. I want to hear from you. @Lookner on Twitter is where you can reach me. That's where you should message me. @Lookner on Twitter. And thanks so much to our moderators for being with us. We have Melissa McQueen moderating and Danny James. Thank you. Sarah Joy is moderating. Thank you. I wonder if Facebook fixed their chat issue yet. I bet they haven't. I'll check. My guess is that it's not fixed. If you're watching Facebook live streams on a web browser, the new chat messages don't pop up. You have to literally refresh the stream for the chat messages to pop up. And thank you, Papa Bear and Sully are moderating too. And our viewers, DJ Dialogue, Elve BZ and others, Shiraz Mohammed, Barb Beniki Rizel, Tony Del Monte, Baby Shark. Baby Shark, congrats on your graduation. Gone with the Gail, Me So Hungry, C. Michelle Sparks, Kenneth Colton, Miss Sal, and others watching. Okay, so let's begin. I can't believe Facebook hasn't fixed their live chat yet. It's unbelievable. We'll see. I don't think they fixed it. So I want to begin by mentioning this. I've seen people like Barb Beniki Rizal mention this. Hey, I think Facebook, I just saw a message pop up. The Facebook chat is fixed. I don't have to keep... Well, it's a miracle. It's a June 17th, 2021 miracle. Facebook has fixed the chat, so I don't have to keep refreshing the chat room and the chat messages pop up. I just saw Sandy K. Wilkins and Nora McGinley message pop up. Okay, so what I want to do is, first of all, mentioned, some of our viewers mentioned, oh, I saw a rocket alert from Israel. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some rocket fire, but this was there was a rocket alert, but it turned out to be a false alarm. About a half an hour ago, there was one rocket alert. You can see there, red alert, Kumta alerts. But it was a false alarm. It was caused by machine gun fire, apparently. That's from Manny Fabian. CCTV footage shows machine gun fire from Gaza that apparently set off a false alarm red alert in Israel. It was not rocket fire. But I would not be surprised to see some rocket fire tonight. There's been a little back and forth. In the last couple of days, some Palestinians in Gaza have launched some incendiary balloons, which they've done before, into Israel. And Israel has responded with some measured airstrikes earlier tonight and then the previous night. Nothing huge. So I would not be surprised to see maybe a few rockets fired from Gaza as a response to the airstrikes. There's nothing to suggest now this is going to be like some huge conflict at the moment, like it was a couple weeks ago, but we'll keep an eye on it. I don't think it'll, our viewer Ilya says, will it escalate? I don't think it'll escalate. If a few rockets get fired, I don't think it'll escalate. If a few rockets get fired, Israel will probably carry out a few more airstrikes, and, I think it won't be like that. It would take a bunch of rockets to be fired. But you never know. I mean, if over a large number of days you keep seeing incendiary balloons from Gaza, you might see more airstrikes from Israel, and that might lead to more rocket fire and so forth. Here, let me show you this. So keeping an eye on it, This is Times of Israel. Israel hits Hamas sites across Gaza after arson attacks. Rocket sirens on border, but again, the rocket sirens appear to be a false alarm. Third consecutive day of some fires in Israel sparked by incendiary balloons. Israel threatens to launch fresh campaign if attacks persist. This is from Times of Israel. Israel military launched some airstrikes on Hamas targets throughout the Gaza Strip Thursday night in response to ongoing arson attacks from Gaza. Israel's army chief ordered the IDF to prepare for a resumption of fighting. There were rocket warning signs. Again, it appears those were a false alarm. At least 8 fires were sparked in southern Israel on Thursday and 4 the day before by balloon-borne incendiary devices launched from Gaza, according to Israel. There were no immediate reports of Palestinian injuries from the airstrikes tonight or from last night. Israel said it carried out airstrikes in response to the continued launching of incendiary balloons at Israeli territory. The attacks tonight by Israel were far greater and more forceful than those launched earlier this week in response to similar airborne arson attacks from Gaza and appeared to be the most significant retaliation by Israel to incendiary balloons in 3 years, since Palestinians began using the tactic. The raids by Israel tonight were also meant to serve as a threat to Hamas of Israel's willingness to conduct further strikes if attacks persist. According to a Channel 13 news report, an Israeli delegation in Cairo has warned that if the balloon attacks continue from Gaza, Israel could launch a follow-up to the 11-day military campaign from about a month ago. Hamas has reportedly asserted the balloons are legitimate popular action against Israel and should not be considered a violation of the ceasefire. I guess because they're not rocket fire. But Israel rejects such claims. For the past 3 days, Palestinians in Gaza have launched balloons carrying incendiary and explosive devices into southern Israel, violating a fragile ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas terror group. Times of Israel calls them a terror group. Blah, blah, blah. After the first, there's been 3 days of balloon attacks. After the first day of balloon attacks, Israel launched some airstrikes. It refrained from doing so on day 2 after receiving assurances from Egyptian mediators that Hamas would stop attacks in order to avoid another confrontation. But the balloon attacks kept going on Thursday. Hamas has also reportedly been frustrated by delays in receiving the latest installation of the monthly aid it receives from Qatar. Hamas runs Gaza. The payment of millions of dollars has not been transferred since last month's Gaza war, with Israel refusing to allow it until Hamas releases 2 civilians and 2 bodies of IDF stories it has been holding captive. So, again, we'll keep an eye on it. I don't know if things are going to escalate. Hopefully not. Give me a shout. Let me know your thoughts at Lookner on Twitter, but keeping an eye on it. Sue Baker says this will keep going on. Ugh. SC says, I think more fighting will start. Ms. Sal says, if it does escalate, it will be interesting how the new Israeli government handles it. Yes, we have Netanyahu is no longer the prime minister. There is a new government as of Sunday, led by Naftali Bennett. A random human being thinks it will definitely escalate. I don't know. I don't think either side wants something like last month again. The problem is each side always feels a need to respond. Like, Israel is not going to let Gaza just launch these balloons and do nothing about it. But so Israel's going to launch airstrikes. But as soon as Israel launches airstrikes, Hamas is going to feel like, well, we have to do something in response to that. So, once it gets going, no one wants to be the one that doesn't respond. Barb says that was crazy a few weeks ago. Imelda Redshaw is watching from Western Australia. Very nice. Oh, On the Sidewalk guy posted a definition of incendiary balloon. Well, there might actually be a Wikipedia page about it. Basically, a balloon that causes a fire. A balloon that has a bomb, incendiary device, or Molotov cocktail attached. It's carried by prevailing winds to the target area. Yeah, I mean, Gaza and Israel share a border. So the idea is that people in Gaza they attach, something that will cause a fire to a balloon, and they'll just let the balloon float across the border. Then it lands somewhere on the other side of the border. That's what happens. Cherry Cola, there was not a new Israeli election. What happened is in Israel, the government can change. Who the prime minister is depends on who the members of the parliament there, the Knesset, vote for. So basically, enough members of the parliament agreed that they wanted Naftali Bennett as the prime minister. There was not a new election. If they couldn't have agreed on a new prime minister, there would have been another election, I believe. Excuse me. Oh, Tony sent me something about Arizona. Hold on a second. I had seen something about this story before, but I didn't see... Hang on a second here. I haven't seen the details. This thing here. So Peoria, Arizona police had posted like an hour ago, like almost 2 hours ago, that there were shootings in the West Valley this afternoon. The suspect was quickly located and taken into custody. So let me see. I saw an unconfirmed report about it. Peoria, Arizona is outside of, it's not too far from Phoenix, actually. It's not that far from Phoenix. Looks about maybe 20 miles away from Phoenix. So let me check this. Arizona, a suspect is in custody after 9 people were reportedly shot in several West Valley cities today. Okay? So 9 people were shot. That just came out. I didn't know it was 9 people. Hang on. I just want to post this. Actually, let me do it this way. Yeah, I'll do it this way. Okay. 9 people shot without throughout West Valley. Suspect in custody. A suspect is in custody after 9 people were shot in several West Valley cities on Thursday. The suspect was found during a traffic stop. Arizona family is waiting for additional information from police agencies for the other shooting locations. There were a bunch of different locations. Yeah, so I had heard report of a shooting a couple hours ago. The whole thing about 9 people shot seems to be just coming out in the last few minutes. Madonna Harold says, I live in Surprise. Hang on a second here. But the person's been in custody for at least a couple hours, it sounds like. Hang on. Yeah, see, this was about 2 hours ago, about an hour and 50 minutes ago. So almost 2 hours ago, the police said the suspect was quickly located and taken into custody. By the time I had heard about it, the suspect was already in custody. But now we're hearing that 9 people were shot. Several shootings in the West Valley. Let me just see if I can find any other information about this. Thank you, Tony Del Monte, for the heads up. JJ Jennifer says, I'm in Arizona too. I haven't heard a thing. Okay, here's something from ABC 15. At least 9 people reportedly injured in West Valley shooting incident. 1 person has been detained after a shooting in Surprise, Arizona, that may be connected to a string of other shootings Thursday in the West Valley. Some of the shootings are believed to be linked. That still remains under investigation. 9 patients at hospitals. Oh, a drive-by shooting incident. So this was Banner Health said they received a total of 9 patients at 3 of their hospitals related to the shootings, which they referred to as a drive-by shooting incident. It's unclear if all 9 were shooting victims or suffered other injuries. It's also unclear if there are other victims. Here's what authorities have confirmed. In Surprise, there were 2 people shot, one with life-threatening injuries, one with non-life-threatening injuries. Here, there was a vehicle shot. There's multiple locations. But again, this happened earlier today. So I don't know if somebody was going around randomly shooting people. I don't know if the person knew any of the people they shot. But that's what we're seeing. It's several locations. It's weird, though, that again, there's very little information on this right now, given that the suspect's now been in custody for like a couple hours. I'm looking at the Arizona media sites, and they just the 9 number just appeared recently, and they don't have that much, so we don't. I don't know if they know whether how much connection there is between them and what the deal with it is. Some of our viewers are wondering if it's gang-related, like Darth Tater and another one of our viewers said that too. But again, 9 people were shot today in Arizona. This is in the Surprise area of Arizona, in that rough area, in the West Valley. Which is outside of Phoenix. And hold on a second here. Now, there's like Surprise in Peoria, like around here. We know some of the shootings were in Surprise. So this is, about, roughly speaking, about 20 miles outside of Phoenix. Says at least 9 people. But I don't know. I don't know if it's a gang thing. I don't know if it's just one person who was just running around doing this crazily. I have no idea. Epan says, I thought Surprise was a safer area. Well, we'll have to wait and see for more information on this. I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything. It's disturbing, though. Yeah, Aries, it said at least 9, so you're right. There could be more victims. But right now we're hearing 9. And again, I've seen some like rumors and stuff, but I really haven't seen anything reliable about what exactly, in terms of whether they were random or not. It seems possible that somebody was just going around shooting people, but I don't know. And we haven't heard information specifically about the suspect who's in custody. Hang on one second here. Try one other thing. Yeah, again, I'm looking around at different Arizona sites, and there's not. I'm sure more information will come out about this, but that's really the latest I can find right now. If you have comments, give me a shout on Twitter at LookNerd. No, Tammy, we haven't. Tammy Watford James, we haven't heard any report that anybody died. Yeah, as Bud Green says, just 9. Well, 9 injured. Some reports say 9. I don't know if anything says 9. I think one report said 9 shot, and another said at least 9 injured. So I don't know if 9 people were shot. At least 9 injured. See, this report says 9 people shot from AZ family, whereas this report says at least 9 injured. Hey, thanks again to our mods. We got Bud Green, and we got Sarah Joy, Melissa McQueen moderating. Thank you. Danny James. Also, Sully and Papa Bear. And Idaho Star and Smoke and Terriac. Thank you for moderating. Oh, by the way, one of our viewers on the Sidewalk Guy, going back to Israel a second, one of our viewers thinks Hamas, in sending over those incendiary balloons into Israel, on the Sidewalk Guy thinks Hamas is perhaps testing the new Israeli prime minister. Hey, thanks for your support, Lynn Downey. Thank you so much, Lynn Downey, and also SC. That's very kind of you, SC and Lynn Downey. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thoughts with everybody, all the people who were injured, the 9 people who were injured in Arizona. And again, I'll keep an eye out for more information. There's just not a lot of information on it right now. It's disturbing. Okay, well, I'll check on that again. A few of you mentioned the weather situation. So there's not supposed to be a hurricane right now. It looks like there might end up being a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico, which affects the Gulf Coast. If you go to National Hurricane Center, this is what we're talking about right here. Potential tropical cyclone. Now, a tropical cyclone is a certain kind of storm, but a tropical cyclone can be a hurricane, it can be a tropical storm, or it can just be a tropical depression. So they are starting to post updates about it over here at National Hurricane Center. And you can see right here, they don't think it's going to become a hurricane. You can see it says DSS. So S would be tropical storm, D is tropical depression. So it is supposed to be a tropical storm, which would be max sustained winds between 39 and 73 miles an hour. I'll check out their forecast. But it looks like you can see, and there's the blue line is tropical storm warning for some of Louisiana coast, I think all of the Mississippi coast, and some of Alabama coast there. That's tropical storm. That's not hurricane, but certainly worth paying attention to. From what I read earlier, they said that the biggest threat was going to be the rain from this. We can actually look and see what their and if you look at it, it says 1 a.m. Saturday, and then 1 p.m. Saturday. So the idea would be that Friday night into early Saturday morning is when you'd see it come ashore, which is pretty soon. It's tomorrow night, basically. So let me see also here They have a discussion. Blah, 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 blah. First of all, if you see down here, the current prediction is for the winds, the max sustained winds, to get to 45 miles an hour. That's way below a hurricane. Hurricane would be 74 or more. See, it says 45 miles an hour. So the winds are not supposed to get that fast compared to a hurricane. In terms, it says the system is expected to produce heavy rainfall and considerable flash urban and small stream flooding beginning Friday and continuing through the weekend along the central Gulf Coast and spreading northeastward into the southern Appalachians. And in terms of the rainfall, blah, 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 blah. Hold on a second here. Intensity guidance do not indicate a great deal of strengthening before the system reaches the coastline. Yeah, this is not expected to become a hurricane. And then okay, this will show you the rainfall. Hazards affecting land. Rainfall. The potential tropical cyclone is expected to produce total rainfall of 3 to 6 inches with isolated amounts of 8 inches across Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. Okay. Rainfall totals of 4 to 8 inches with isolated maximum amounts of 12 inches are possible beginning Friday and continuing through the weekend from the central Gulf Coast northeastward into the southern Appalachians. Storm surge. Some areas 2 to 3 feet, others 1 to 2 feet. There's a threat of a couple tornadoes that could begin Friday afternoon across coastal Louisiana. Blah, 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 blah. So again, the forecast right now is for this to become a tropical storm, make landfall Friday night into Saturday morning. Rainfall potential. So here's your rainfall map. This is through Sunday. The orange is 6 to 10. The yellow is 4 to 6. Hey, thanks, Siri, for your support. I really appreciate that, Siri. Yes, it's off topic, Siri. It is off topic, but thank you for your support. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. Siri. Thank you, Siri. Aries says, wait until August. Laverne Thompson says, it's that time already. Denise Horton says, maybe some flooding. Let me know your thoughts at Lookner on Twitter. C. Swigum says, these are our only predictions. C. Swigum also says, tropical storm is still nothing to mess with. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, if you're in the area, you should keep an eye out for what local authorities are telling you to do. And then if we go to tropical tidbits, I mean, we can see, if you go to current storms, it's called Cyclone 3. Wait, what? I'm confused. Oh, it's potential tropical cyclone 3 now this is called. Okay. And so what I want to show you is, this is from Tropical Tidbits, and what they do is they take a bunch of forecast models, and then they show you what different forecast models predict how strong the storm will get. And you can see a number of the forecast models actually don't have it even becoming a tropical storm. This is wind speed on the left. A number of the forecast models here have it not even getting to a tropical storm. But if there was a decent chance of it becoming a hurricane, you'd see some of these models, predicting it become a hurricane, predicting the wind would go way up here. But I mean, in this intensity guidance, most of the models say, hey, it's not even going to become a tropical storm. Just a tropical, the wind's not going to get up to what it needs to be. We'll see what happens. So we'll keep an eye on that. Oh, look, update here. Zach Crenshaw, 9 people shot during West Valley rampage. This is in Arizona. We talked about this. 9 different gunshot victims. There were multiple shooting locations. The suspect has been arrested. A briefing at 4 p.m. Oh, they're going to have a briefing. What is it? What Arizona? Peoria, Arizona time. In 34 minutes, there's going to be a briefing. 3+ victims were shot in Peoria city limits. FBI also now involved, according to sources. That's from Zach Crenshaw. So they're going to have a briefing in Peoria, Arizona about this shooting in which reportedly 9 people were shot earlier today. Let me see something here. Who knows? Maybe I might be able to get you audio of that. Philip Bernier, we already talked about it. Rewind the stream about 20 minutes. I'll have to see. I'm looking around to see if I might be able to get you at least the audio of that. It's going to be in about 32 minutes, the news conference about the Arizona shootings. No, Aries, I don't even think it was on the scanner. I wasn't aware of any kind of scanner reports about this. And I was not aware of the scanner blowing up with it, so. What I can see is I'll check and I'll do a quick check of the archives and see, but I will say I have not seen. I would expect if there was like crazy scanner stuff, I would have heard about it already, and I have not heard about it already. I've seen nobody posting it, nobody talking about scanner traffic. So my assumption is that there was not much stuff going on in the scanner that was publicly available, because I would think we would have heard about it already. But I'll keep an eye out. I'm not even sure what exact time the shootings happened in the different locations. It was several hours ago, though. All right, hang on a second here. Well, if nothing else, we should be getting more information in about a half an hour about that shooting, because there's supposed to be a news conference. So whether or not I can get you audio or not, I'm sure in real time it'll be reported what they're saying. Oh, I might be able to get it here. I'm going to keep an eye on this. That's what I'll do. I'll keep an eye on this. The problem with, Aries, the problem with scanner stuff is I don't really want to just... I could sit and go through the past scanner traffic, but that would take a while. And I don't know that I'd necessarily find anything of interest. So, I mean, if somebody wants to go through the Peoria, Arizona scanner traffic and see what they can dig up, and then you can message me if you find anything. It's just the problem is if I try to do it live, you're just going to be sitting here just endlessly watching me search through scanner traffic. So, which I don't think would be great for you guys. All right, so we'll get an update on that in a little while. Okay, you are watching... By the way, Phoenix had a record high for this day. They broke their daily record high. It's 118 today in Phoenix. That's from NWS Phoenix. You're watching our live news roundup. This is Agenda Free TV, and on YouTube, you're watching Agenda Free TV 2. Just a reminder, on YouTube, I actually have two news channels. My main news channel is Agenda Free TV on YouTube, but that's where we cover like single big news events. If there's not like a single big news event, we'll do some news roundups here. So if you're watching on YouTube, my main news channel is Agenda Free TV, which is here. You can find all my channels under channels. Agenda Free TV 2 is the one you're watching right now. And then I have a personal channel called Lookner where I do some non-news live streams when the news is not busy. Lehman Earn 18 says, do they say anything about the temperature in the Gulf of Mexico? Last year, a Cat 1 will become a Cat 4 or 5. Well, a couple of days ago, I checked the temperatures in Gulf of Mexico, and it looked like a lot of the water was around 82, 83. But again, this current storm is not forecast. It's forecast to become like a weak tropical storm, not close to a hurricane. It just doesn't look like it's going to have, it's supposed to make landfall tomorrow night. It's not going to have time to strengthen, it looks like, much. But in terms of the weather temperature, I think you need 80 or above to sustain a hurricane, water temperature. You can go to windy. You can go to oops. You can go to oops. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Layers. Sea temperature. Yeah, if you go to Gulf of Mexico on windy, you get 84. Oh, some of it's very warm. Right near the coast is warm, even warmer, 85, 86. In here, 84, all 84, 83, 83, 84, 83, 84. So a few places it's warmer than that, especially up here, 85, 86, 84, 85, 86. Those are your Gulf of Mexico temperatures. Okay. Yeah, so I don't want to cover it all again, but if we talked in the first part of this broadcast, we talked about the Israel stuff, but basically, Gaza, there were some more incendiary balloons launched from Gaza today into Israel. Once again, Israel launched some airstrikes on Gaza in response to this. There was one rocket siren, case of rocket sirens, but it appears that that's a false alarm because the rocket siren actually apparently was set off by machine gun fire, not rockets. That's from Manny Fabian. So that's what's going on there. We covered that at the start of the stream. Yeah, Ryan J. Bob, I don't know with the Arizona shooting if they're going to identify the suspect or not. We'll have to see what they say in about 23 minutes. That's when we're going to hear more. Oh, and by the way, also, just an update here. There was some speculation about whether California would have power outages because of the hot weather. Right now, they have not had any. There has not been any forced power outages yet. California is urging consumers to continue energy conservation, but no brownouts yet. This is from California ISO. They are asking consumers to set thermostats to 78 or higher. Avoid using major appliances. Turn off unnecessary lights. Keeping an eye on Texas as well. But I have not heard about any kind of significant, forced power outages due to this hot weather. Pizza Creep says California's about to be on fire again. Let's hope not. Maddie Mag says, I'm scared for California this year. A lot of places in the West have had drought too, which is not good for the fire situation. John Elliott says the current winds, max sustained winds, are 30 with that potential tropical cyclone. Yes, max sustained wind, thank you, John Elliott, is currently 30. It needs to get to 39 to be a tropical storm. It's not even a tropical cyclone yet, though, is it? It says potential tropical cyclone. A tropical cyclone is a certain kind of storm. So I guess it's not organized in the right. It doesn't exhibit the right features yet to be a tropical cyclone. They don't name it, by the way, until it becomes a tropical storm. So it could become a tropical cyclone, in which case it would be a tropical depression. But it doesn't get a name until it becomes a tropical storm. Nancy Chatham Lyons is watching from Florida. Okay, let's talk about something else while we're waiting for some more details from Arizona. Oh, a couple of viewers had messaged me about the Sahara dust. What's the latest on that? This is from Fox 13, 2 days ago. Sunsets and sneezes, Saharan dust blowing into Florida. Sunsets across Florida in the coming days could become even more spectacular as clouds of dust from the Sahara Desert in Africa sweep across the Atlantic coast. The plume is expected to dampen storm activity but worsen air pollution. Oops, sorry about the vibration noise. That should be done in a few seconds, hopefully. Jeez. NASA is monitoring the dust, which was swept off Africa by strong winds swirling across the deserts of Mali and Mauritania. Trade winds are carrying the plume across the ocean, with the leading edge expected to arrive in Florida in the coming days. It's going to be a major dust outbreak, says a professor emeritus at University of Miami. Dry winds carrying the dust particles could help smother storm systems by drying out the humid tropical air. Interesting. That feeds turbulent weather across a well-traveled route for hurricanes. That's very interesting. So that's a story about dust blowing into Florida. I don't know if it's going to affect other places too. I don't see stories about it going to other places. Here's something from Newsweek. Florida set to have incredible orange skies as massive Saharan dust cloud approaches. This is from 2 days ago. From 3 days ago. I should go outside at the end of this broadcast. I should go out and look and see what the sky looks like. I haven't noticed anything different. The dust will be thickest over the Florida Peninsula on Wednesday and will stick around through at least Saturday next week. You know, I did notice like it was kind of pink last night, the sunset. The phenomenon is set to bring picturesque sunrises and sunsets to the region with more pronounced orange, red, and pink hues resulting from light scattering off the dust particles. And I apologize, you might be hearing like a vibrating noise in the background. The AC system in here has been vibrating a bit. And so I am in the process of trying to get that fixed. I can't fix it myself. So hopefully I get it fixed soon. It was pretty good during the broadcast, but the last couple of days it's been kind of bad at certain points. It's pretty annoying though. Hopefully it's less loud for you than it is for me. Laverne says she hears it slightly. Okay. In like 16 minutes, there's supposed to be an update on the Arizona shootings. Elizabeth G says, Elizabeth G says, too cloudy here in Tampa to appreciate the sunset. Yes, in Orlando, I haven't been outside. I mean, I haven't looked outside in a little bit because I've been here. But yeah, I mean, when I was outside this afternoon for a bit, it was cloudy. A good point. Andy Cheserek says it's been cloudy all week here in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, in Orlando as well. Okay, let's go to a different story. while we wait for the update from Arizona. This is kind of interesting. Naomi Osaka, who's the #2 women's tennis player in the world, she withdrew from the French Open. Now she withdrew from Wimbledon. This just came out today from ESPN. Naomi Osaka, ranked #2 in the world in women's tennis, has withdrawn from Wimbledon. She is taking some personal time with friends and family. She withdrew from the French Open before the second round in the wake of the controversy caused by her decision to skip mandatory post-match news conferences at the tournament. She revealed she had been dealing with anxiety and depression. That's too bad. Well, I hope she's back soon. It's just pretty striking. It's not something you normally see. There's 4 major tournaments in tennis, and those are the 4 most important, tournaments for the players play. And she is now withdrawn from 2 of the 4 this year. Jeff Haas says, I hope she's okay. Yeah, me too. Gina Julia says, so sad. Sean, I got to check on the van explosion in L.A. I think it was Montclair, east of L.A. I haven't heard anything new about it, Sean. I'll check it out. Smee says, I hope she feels better. Tennis players, you only have so many major tournaments that you're going to play in your life. Like that's widely seen. For most tennis players, that would be the most important thing, is how they do in the major tournaments. And there's only 4 a year, and there's only so many years when you're going to be at the top of your game. So to have a tennis player who's, bodily healthy, she doesn't have any physical injuries, now withdrawing from 2 of the 4 major tournaments, that's that's really rare. I don't recall ever seeing it like that. So in recent history. So again, yeah, I hope she's okay as well. Jeff says it's serious if she's missing these tournaments. Dartator says, let her get her good, let her get her head straight. We've seen what happens when people aren't in the right state of mind. Miss Sal says she's going to compete at the Olympics. So according to the article, hang on. Her agent said she will be ready for the Olympics. She'll be playing, I believe, in Japan. I believe she'll be playing for Japan. Here, look. Yes. She lives in California, in Beverly Hills. She was born in Japan, and she's going to play, I believe, in the Olympics. I believe that is who she plays for. Let me see here. Yes, she said, I always represent Japan when I play, she said. I believe she grew up in the U.S. Let's see here. Early life and background. She was born in Japan. When Osaka was 3 years old, she moved from Japan to New York. So most of her life, she basically grew up in America. This is interesting. Although Osaka was raised in the U.S., her parents decided that their daughters would represent Japan. I guess when she like in something like the Olympics. Anyways, you can read more about her on Wikipedia, for example. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, just in terms of where, another thing it says here is in 2006, her family moved to Florida when she was 8 or 9 years old, so they would have better opportunities for her to train. So Jeff Ha, it looks like she spent some time growing up in New York and some time in Florida. I don't know all the specifics, though. In about 9 minutes, there's supposed to be an update from Arizona about that shooting. So I'm going to be checking on that. Maddie Mag says, that makes sense for her. Don't play Wimbledon, get rested up, and go for gold. C. Swigum says it's probably more fun for her to play for Japan. Ralph Macchio says, I think she really wants to win a gold for Japan. One True Tree says she is sick. Mental illness is no joke. It is not. Sonic says, I have the local Arizona channels on. They start the local news at 4 p.m. I wonder if that's why they're doing the press conference then. I'll try to get at least audio of the press conference. But I haven't heard, ooh, there's a fire. There's a King fire in, looks like LA County. Is it LA County? Let's see. I wonder what California Fire Scanner says about it. King fire. Lancaster, LA County. The fire is now 150 acres with 4 structures immediately threatened. That's from California Fire Scanner. Sonic says ABC 15 just teased the press conference coming up on their news broadcast. All right. So again, I will be doing my best to get you at least audio of the press conference about the Arizona shootings, which is supposed to come up in like 6 minutes. Let me also check and see if there's any update from the local outlets. All right, this just updated this article. Again, this is about 15 miles outside of Phoenix. At least 9 people reportedly injured today in West Valley shooting incident. 1 person is in custody. This is from ABC 15. The Arizona Department of Public Safety, Peoria Police Department, and Surprise, Arizona Police Department were each investigating reported shootings this afternoon. Some of the shootings are believed to be linked. Total of 9 patients. Banner Health Hospital Company said they referred to the shootings as a drive-by shooting incident. I am not yet seeing any big new details, though. While we wait for that, I saw this. This was kind of interesting. So Iran had sent these 2 warships that supposedly were heading towards Venezuela, maybe carrying some kind of weapons, or there was an article suggesting that they were carrying like attack boats to Venezuela, which would be a very provocative thing for the U.S. I don't think that's ever happened before. I don't know that Iranian warships have ever crossed the Atlantic before. Anyways, but supposedly there's been a course change. Politico is saying Iranian ships once believed to be headed towards Venezuela changed course, U.S. officials say. People familiar with the matter believe diplomatic efforts may have made a difference. The Iranian Navy ships, believed to originally be headed across the Atlantic Ocean toward Venezuela, changed course early this week and are now steaming north up the west coast of Africa. These ships, which U.S. officials believe may have been preparing to conduct an arms transfer, have appeared to change course several times during their journey from Iran and could do so again. But after the course change early this week, they are likely now headed either into the Mediterranean, potentially planning to sail off of Syria, or north toward Russia, according to a defense official. U.S. officials believe the course change indicates a diplomatic campaign to urge governments in the Western Hemisphere to turn away the ships was successful. But whether or not the ships crossed the Atlantic, their journey so far has been a significant demonstration of the naval capability of Iran. Last week marked the first time Iranian warships had rounded the Cape of Good Hope, southern Africa. None has ever successfully crossed the Atlantic or circled around the entire coast of Africa. That's interesting. So just to show you what we're talking about here. Oops. How do I get here? I just want the flat map. Here we go. Why won't it let me get I just want the flat map. Why am I seeing all of this? Just make it flat. Ugh. Gosh. I'll do it this way. Here. Nope. Did they change Google Maps? They used to give me an option to get the flat map, not the 3D prediction. Now, I'm not even getting that anymore. Oh, globe view off. There we go. There it is. I figured it out. They changed the controls. So we're talking about, there's Iran up here, and Venezuela's over here. Where did this go? Oh, here we go. So we're talking about the ships from Iran, and they went around the Cape of Good Hope. And there was thinking that maybe they would go this way, over to Venezuela. But now they're not going that way. They're going up this way. Okay. It's 7 p.m. Eastern time, so any moment now, I guess, there's supposed to be the press conference. Okay, I'm seeing something here. Hang on, guys. I'm seeing something. So I think I should at least be able to get you audio of the press conference. We're waiting for the Arizona press conference. But I don't see the press conference yet. I'm looking for it. It hasn't, the press conference has not started yet. Oh, hold on, it's about to start. Hang on, guys. Hang on, let's do this. Hang on. Here. Why can't I hear it?
Yes? All right. My name is Sergeant Brandon Sheffert, B-R-A-N-D-O-N, last name S-H-E-F-F-E-R-T. Unfortunately, we're here today to talk about some significant incidents that have happened throughout the West Valley, starting earlier this morning. At about 11:10, Peoria PD received a call of a vehicle that had been shot by another vehicle, the occupants of another vehicle at about 11:10 in the area of 103rd and Northern. From there on, what we've realized is that same suspect vehicle, which has been identified as a white SUV, was involved in at least 8 other incidents at this time. So that's 8 separate incidents. That doesn't talk about the people involved. So, and remember, all this information we're giving you right now is preliminary. This is an extremely complex investigation because it involves multiple jurisdictions, and so we'll be updating that as it goes on and as we get more information. The information we have right now is we have a total of 13 victims total. 13 victims, not all of them are gunshot wound victims. Right now we have 4 that are gunshot wound victims. The others have different types of injuries, whether it be shrapnel, different things, whether a car crash. I don't have those exact specifics, but we have a total of 13 people who are injured, 4 people who were shot. And then we do recently, prior to us, or right as we were sending out this notice about this, we responded to another call of a vehicle on the freeway. And sadly, we are reporting 1 fatality in that. So on the Loop 101 at Thunderbird, there was a vehicle with a subject in that vehicle with a gunshot wound. Right now, like I said, it's a very complex and ongoing investigation. We're working closely with the Surprise Police Department. I'm here with Sergeant Tommy Hale from the Surprise Police Department as well. Also the Glendale Police Department, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, Department of Public Safety, and also the FBI in Arizona here. Also, I want to note that our fire agencies from the West Valley, obviously were extremely busy doing all this. They were extremely busy tending to all these injuries, transporting people, and they did a phenomenal job doing everything they could. Also, the Surprise Police Department did a fantastic job working on tracking down this vehicle and getting the suspect in custody. The suspect was taken into custody at approximately 12:42 hours in the area of 147th and Grand, and Sergeant Hale can provide more information here in a minute on that if you guys have questions. All we can release about the suspect at this time is it's an adult male, and like I said, he's been in custody. There were no issues with that. As far as any other information, if anybody out there has any information or somebody hasn't come home or somebody's missing, we want you to call the Peoria Police Department or Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS. We want more information on this so we can figure out exactly what happened. This is at the beginning stages of this investigation, as you can imagine. Like I said, with multiple agencies involved and this person going on this spree throughout the West Valley this morning in a period of literally an hour and a half, that is a lot for us to investigate. So we have teams going everywhere. Obviously, you guys know it's hot out, that's why we're in here. But we ask the citizens to stay away from those areas that they're doing the investigations, but if they have information, to give us a call. For now, we will be sending out an update later tonight with more information in a written form for you guys to have as well. But for now, that's the information we have. So just to recap real quick on our end, we are taking the lead as far as all communication goes, so any follow-up questions will come to us. We'll address that with our partners, whether it be Surprise, MCSO, Glendale, or FBI, and get you those answers. And again, Silent Witness for any tips or information. We have a total of 8 incidents as of now. That number could obviously grow. 13 victims, 4 were shot, 1 was fatal. All right, any questions at all at this time?
Do you have any information on the type of gun that was being used, and do you have any reason to believe right now, or was this simply driving up to other cars and just opening fire?
So what we know now is, what we understand is that most of them are that. So what you consider drive-by, or well, he's driving a vehicle, whatnot. So that's still under investigation. Things are being looked at. But as far, a weapon was recovered at the scene in the suspect's vehicle.
Any history on the shooter?
We don't have any of that information yet.
Did you say the shooter was arrested without incident?
Yeah, I'll let Sergeant Hale talk about that. That happened in Surprise, so I'll let him speak to that.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Sergeant Tommy Hale, H-A-L-E, Surprise Police Department. And to your question, what I can tell you about the traffic stop is that it was executed by Surprise PD. When the vehicle stopped, the suspect's vehicle stopped with it, and the driver, the only occupant of the vehicle and the suspect, he was compliant as the officers gave him commands, and he was removed from the vehicle and taken into custody.
Any reason to believe that there's another shooter out there, or you're confident that there's one suspect?
Yeah, we have no information at all that to allude to any other type of shooter. What I can tell you is that the suspect that was seen, the vehicle that was seen, he's been taken into custody, and there's no reason for the public to feel unsafe at this time.
All right, we're going to go ahead and continue to monitor this news conference that's going.
All right, hang on a moment. Hang on one moment. So 1 dead, 4 shot, and 13 injured. Okay? Well, hang on. Here, guys, let me go back to the press conference. Hang on. Let's see if I can go back to it.
We're going to just...
No, I don't have the audio of it right now. Okay. Yeah, Surprise, Arizona is a place. So again, 1 dead, 4 shot, 13 total injured in 8 separate incidents. Okay? Hang on one second here. Here, look. 13 victims, 4 shot in shooting spree in the West Valley of Arizona. 1 person has died. Suspected shooter was arrested by police. The suspect was in a vehicle. This is all a recap from Jeff Paul. There were 8 different scenes, incident scenes, according to police. And it's not believed there's a second person. It's believed this is the one. The one suspect. And then, yeah, I guess, you know, they said that the police said that like some of the injuries might have been like shrapnel injuries. So certainly condolences to the family of the person that died and thoughts with those who were injured. I guess, if anything, it's positive news that not as many people were shot as we first thought. I mean, it's terrible somebody died and it's terrible people were injured. But we had initially heard 9 shot. And then the area was, hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. Sorry, I'm just checking for other updates here. I wonder if Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, sorry. So I couldn't. I didn't have audio of the last part of the press conference. So I apologize for that. But I have not seen. It looks like the press conference is over, from what I can gather here, and I have not seen any other big details that were revealed in the press conference. Yeah, so here's an updated article here. 13 injured, 1 dead in surprise shooting spree. Suspect in custody. 4 people were shot. Was it all in Surprise, Arizona? I don't know if every single incident was in Surprise, Arizona. That was the area. Oh, look at this. This is from earlier today. Matt Galka. We are on the scene. Here's a picture from 303 and El Mirage Burra Boulevard. Bullet hole in the window of this red minivan. I guess the person was driving around and shooting people. That's what it looks like. It looks like the person was driving around and shooting people. That's what it looks like. Because the shootings were from, Sonic says, span of 90 minutes over the morning. Did it start in North Glendale? I didn't hear that myself. Sonic says Glendale, Peoria, Surprise. Which is, again, that's northwest of Phoenix. See, here's Phoenix. Glendale, Peoria, Surprise. Here. Let me just do this real quick. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, so I don't think we've heard anything specifically about the suspect, except that they're an adult male. So let me take a couple more comments on this. So again, it's just we've been talking about this because this news just came out here. 13 injured, 1 dead, 4 shot in a shooting spree earlier today over 90 minutes in Metro Phoenix, northwest of Phoenix. And the suspect is in custody, and the suspect is an adult male. And the suspect sounds like driving around shooting at people. Linda Belk said, how could there be 4 shot, 13 injured? Well, again, one of the things they said was shrapnel. So, maybe somebody, well, obviously there could be, but maybe somebody was in a car and the window got shot and, glass hit the person. Maybe somebody got in a car accident because they were getting shot at, so there's different ways people gotten injured. But most of the injuries related to this were not shooting injuries. Sonic said he heard it started in North Glendale in the press conference. John Elliott heard that forward progress of the King Fire in, that was the Lancaster area in California. John Elliott had heard the forward progress has been stopped. I haven't heard that yet. I'm not saying John Elliott's wrong. I just haven't heard it yet. Thank you, John. John Elliott said they were showing the King Fire live on KTLA. Thank you, John. Olivia Markey says we need to start taking mental health more seriously in this country. On the Sidewalk guy says the FBI getting involved says to me this ain't the run-of-the-mill gang violence. I think we saw in an article, one of the articles about the Arizona shooting spree, FBI was getting involved. I don't know specifically why that is, though. It's a good question. I don't know why that is specifically. Ellie Bourne says FBI gets involved every time there are multiple victims. I'm not sure of that. I don't know. By the way, It Swirl said had an earthquake today in Indiana. Even though it was only a 3.8, it was pretty scary as we normally don't have earthquakes. Maybe we'll talk about that in a second. Sonic says if you call up traffic layer on Google Maps, you can see areas closed for investigation. Well, I'll have to zoom in here. I assume this is closed and this is closed. So maybe these are the areas. I can't confirm that that's why they're closed. I wouldn't be surprised if they are. But that's, how do I get to, why can't I get terrain and traffic? Yeah, here. Sonic is in Arizona. Thank you, Sonic, for your support. Thank you also to Ervik Sonder. Thank you, Ervik Sonder, for your support as well. Thank you. One of our viewers says, were there reports of a car hitting a person? I don't know if any of these injuries were a car hitting a person. But that's a good question. Yes, I'm on a blanket. I'm on YouTube and Twitch right now. I'm on Agenda Free TV 2 on YouTube right now, and I'm on Agenda Free TV on Twitch right now. Sonic says, yeah, they said they said they closed on local media. Jeff says, maybe shooter is from out of state. Here's the article from Arizona Family. One of our viewers sent me a link to this one. Jody Smith. 1 dead, 12 injured. I mean, it's 13 total injuries, but I guess one. It's a little confusing. I guess it's of the 13 injured, one is a dead person. But suspects in custody after one person was killed and 12 were injured in 8 different locations in the Phoenix metropolitan area. Shooting spree. The other 9 victims, besides the 4 who were shot, were injured in the shooting incidents but not physically shot. It began... The first known incident happened in the area of 115th Ave and Bell Road around 11 a.m. 11 a.m. 115th and Bell Road. That's Surprise. So this said the first known incident happened in Surprise. Then it says, oops, where is it here? Minutes later, a vehicle was shot on the Loop 303 and El Mirage Road in Surprise. Around 3 p.m., DPS confirmed the off-ramp of blah, 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 blah. 303 is here. Just crazy. Sorry, there's some barking going on outside the studio that you might be able to hear. That shouldn't last long. Okay. Well, that's the news. I'm very interested in knowing more on this, but that's really what we know right now. I haven't seen any new reports aside that. I mean, we just heard the press conference about 20 minutes ago or something. So if I hear more, I'll post it on my Twitter, @LookNerd. Okay. I did want to check also on the explosion, the van that exploded a couple days ago in Montclair, California. By the way, Olivia Markey said, aren't they going through a major heat wave in the area also? Yes, they are. Right now, it's 109 in Surprise, Arizona, but it's supposed to be next couple of days 114, 115, 116, 116. And they're in an excessive heat warning in this area. You know, I'm not seeing any kind of updates on the van explosion. You know, we talked about this a few days ago, but this article is from 3 days ago. I don't see any updates out there about this van exploded and nobody was hurt. And it was in a residential area in Montclair, which is east. I think it's San Bernardino County, east of Los Angeles. No one was injured. So it happened at 12:08 a.m. So I don't have any new info on this. Thank you, Diane Pickett, by the way. I appreciate that, Diane Pickett. Thank you. Much appreciated. So, yeah, please keep reminding me about this story because I haven't heard anything more. Hey, thanks again to our moderators. Linda Belk is moderating, Lady Edith, and Melissa McQueen, Sarah Joy, Danny James. Bud Green. Ellieborn, Idaho Star, Maddie Mags, Papa Bear Smoke, and Sully. Delirious, our viewer, says, I live in the Phoenix metro area where it's, what do you say, 116? Where it's 116 where I'm at. Okay, this happened today. This is the 3.8 earthquake in Indiana. Look at this, WHTR. Do you know Indiana rests near two of the largest fault lines in the central U.S.? We may not always associate Indiana with earthquakes, but they happen here too. 3.8 earthquake hit near Rockville today on Thursday, says WHTHR. Earthquakes happen from time to time in Indiana because the state rests on two major fault lines, both of which are capable of producing significant damage. There's the Wabash Valley Seismic Zone in southeastern Illinois and southwestern Indiana. It's capable of producing up to a magnitude 7.0 earthquakes, according to the USGS. Then there's the Wabash Valley's bigger and more feared sister to the south, the New Madrid Seismic Zone. See, it says New Madrid Fault Zone. A major earthquake in that zone would affect the 8 U.S. states it runs through: Arkansas, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. See, there's Tennessee. There's Indiana. Illinois, Missouri. According to the U.S. Whoa, what is that? Where is that coming from? It just started playing. I know where it's coming from. According to the USGS, a 7.0 earthquake in the New Madrid area, somewhere in here, once reversed the direction of the Mississippi River in 1812. So there was a 3.8 in Indiana today. Yes, Darth Tater says, are one of those fault lines the one that goes down by Memphis? Yet New Madrid Fault Zone, New Madrid Fault, you can see goes right near Memphis. New Madrid Fault Zone. Nunzi says Wabash and New Madrid. The New Madrid Seismic Zone. You can read about it at USGS. When people think of earthquakes in the U.S., they tend to think of the West Coast, but earthquakes also happen in the eastern and central U.S. Until 2014, when the dramatic increase in earthquake rates gave Oklahoma the #1 ranking in the coterminous U.S., the most seismically active area east of the Rocky Mountains was in the Mississippi Valley area known as the New Madrid Seismic Zone. Since 1974, there have been thousands of recorded small to moderate earthquakes there. In the winter of 1811 and 1812, the New Madrid Seismic Zone generated a sequence of earthquakes that lasted for several months and included 3 very large earthquakes estimated to be between magnitude 7 and 8. Wow. Crazy. Anyways, you can read about that in... You can see Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi. Read about that at USGS. Interesting. Nicolette Geese says where she is, it just hit 118, I think. She's on Facebook. Nunzi says maybe considerable fracking in Indiana. But it didn't sound like, I mean, according to that article, that USGS article, it said that there's been earthquakes going on in that area for a long time. Since 1974, there have been thousands of small to moderate earthquakes. I wouldn't think that has to do with fracking. Well, also, I wouldn't think it has to do with fracking just because there's a fault running through there. The New Madrid seismic zone, Wikipedia says, is a major seismic zone and a prolific source of intraplate earthquakes. Yeah, it was, I mean, it's a blah, 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 blah. Most of the seismicity originates between 3 and 15 miles between the Earth's surface, says Wikipedia. Geology. The faults responsible for the New Madrid seismic zone are embedded in a subsurface geological feature. Yeah, I mean, this is... A fault is a planar fracture or discontinuity in a volume of rock across which there has been significant displacement as a result of rock mass movements. So this just seems like... This is not a fracking explanation. This is movement of parts of the Earth relative to each other. Hey, thank you, Voyage, for your support. Voyage in Simona. Thank you, Voyage in Simona, for your support. I appreciate that. Quake Country says, I believe it's pronounced Madrid. No. I can't. I would need to. Sometimes those YouTube how to pronounce videos are just wrong, so I would have to see. I wonder if it says how to pronounce it on Wikipedia. I mean, it's possible I was pronouncing it wrong, but I'm wondering on Wikipedia they give a pronunciation. Here, let's see what they say. Yeah, New Ma. It's ma as in bad. New Madrid. It is New Madrid. Thank you, Quake Country. According to Wikipedia, it's New Madrid, not New Madrid. New Madrid. There you go. Thank you, Quake Country, for letting me know. A couple viewers, including Tony Del Monte, messaged me about this. I mean, my guess is that unfortunately this kind of thing happens a lot, I would think. Human body parts found in multiple spots in Minneapolis neighborhood. I mean, I don't necessarily think this is a national story. Police are investigating after human body parts were found and discovered in a neighborhood of Minneapolis. The body parts are believed to belong to an adult. So that's not good. But unfortunately, finding bodies Well, I guess you could say this is body parts, so that makes it more rare. But looks like it's one person, according to the article. That's from Fox 9. Hey, Michelle R. Thank you, Michelle R. I appreciate that. I mean, it's not a good story. Certainly, it's a bad story. It's unfortunate. Thank you, Michelle R. I appreciate it. Yeah, Linda says it's freaky. You can see from the article it said, photos taken just before a body part was covered showed a leg lying in the grass and cut into pieces. So I have no idea what that's all about. Then there's an article in KARE, police open homicide investigation after body parts discovered in northeast Minneapolis. Now look at this. This is interesting. This is interesting. A Minneapolis police spokesperson said the remains could have come from someone who obtained a cadaver. So it might not have been a murder. It could have been somebody who obtained a cadaver. That's interesting. Hey, thanks, Tony Del Monte. I appreciate that, Tony. This says 3rd Avenue Northeast and Main Street Northeast here. Anyways, if you want the specifics on the location, more specifics, you can look at some of the Minneapolis local sources. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. Okay, let me just do a quick check here. And again, I'm sorry, there's been this weird thing going on with this like vibration noise in the studio related to the AC. So I'm in the process of getting it looked at. So hopefully it can get fixed soon. I'm sorry. I think I hear it way more than you guys do. Bitcoin Phoenix says they find washed up feet in Washington State all the time. Okay, I think I am going to wrap up this live stream. I think I got to the stories I wanted to get to. But if I hear more news, big news related to these stories, I will post it on my Twitter account, @Lookner on Twitter. That's where I post news updates, @Lookner on Twitter. And if there's like really big news, we'll cover it on Agenda Free TV. So be sure to subscribe and follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching Agenda Free TV 2, where we do the news roundups on YouTube. But on YouTube, my main news channel is Agenda Free TV. I have several channels. I have Agenda Free TV 2, Agenda Free TV. On the other platforms, it's just one news channel, Agenda Free TV. On YouTube, there's 2. And then my personal channel, where I do some non-news live streams, is called Lookner, and that's only on YouTube. So subscribe, follow, and if you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button and choose all notifications. I very much appreciate you guys. Oh, some people are saying they couldn't hear the noise. So that's good. I very much appreciate you guys tuning in. And also, thanks for letting me read your comments. And thanks for the news tips and your comments. I appreciate that. And I very much appreciate the moderators, of course. They're the best. They're always they're volunteers. They're always there. So really appreciate the moderators. Linda Belk, Melissa McQueen, and Lady Edith, Sarah Joy, and Bud Green. Leanne says she's not hearing any noise either. Mary Incel can hear it a little bit. It's not really, so Duster does not hear it. All right, so at least it doesn't seem like it's super annoying to people. Okay, thank you, Bud Green, for moderating. And also, Duxor, Ellie Bourne, Idaho Star, Maddie Mags, Papa Bear, Smoke, and Sully. Thank you. Discord, if you like chatting with other viewers, sign up for the Agenda Free TV fan Discord chat room where you can discuss people who watch the channel, hang out, chat with each other when we're not on the air. Also, signing up for the Discord, it's free, but that's really the best way to get notifications. Once you sign up, you get awesome notifications for when I'm coming on the air. So check out the Discord. That link is at the bottom of the YouTube video description. And the mods can post that as well. And also, if anybody's interested in being a volunteer moderator, that would be awesome. You can ask the mods for more info about that, but that would be great. All right, so I'm going to wrap up this live stream, but I'll post on Twitter if I hear updates on these stories we talked about. And, thanks to everybody who donated too. That is very kind of you. Very much appreciate the donations. That's really nice of you guys. That's how I can do this full time. So thank you. If you do want to donate, you go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. All right, thank you to our viewers. Thank you to our viewers, people like Shaggy, 11 Glowfly, me, Betty Boop, Mercurius, Pizza Creep, Astra, On the Sidewalk Guy, Slip and Slide. Let's see here. And our other Twitch viewers, thank you for watching there. Duster Singer, thanks for watching. Sherry Gonzalez, Mary Incel, Leanne Ticknor, Kerry Toyne, Sandra Morell, Olivia Markey, Philip Wilson, Betty Nelson, Nancy Chatham Lyons, Little Bit Nollins, John Elliott, Twilla McCord, and others. And viewers like Margot Cherry Cola, Bitcoin Phoenix, Misty Wolf, C. Michelle Sparks, SC, Mike J., Gina Julia, Linda Nielsen, Laverne Thompson, Denise Horton, Deer Hop, Brainy Janie, and others. Tony Del Monte and others. Sam Patton as well. All right, guys, I am wrapping up this live stream. Thank you so much for joining for the News Roundup. And we will have more news coverage, live news coverage soon, I am sure. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon with more live coverage right here on Agenda Free TV and Agenda Free TV 2.